Today I want to talk about 12 of my favorite foods that I reach for again and again on my GLP-1 journey. These are the things that I personally eat on repeat to keep my protein and fiber up and just to try to be healthy. You don't have to eat any of this to be successful in losing weight and improving your health on a GLP-1. You should eat what you like, but hopefully I can give you some ideas using these foods. So let's get into it. I'm always trying to eat healthy, even before GLP-1, and I don't think it'll ever come naturally to me. Although it's been a lot easier on Zepbound, and I was on compounded semaglutide before Zepbound. But on a GLP-1, it's been a lot easier. Before that, my whole life, I naturally had a big sweet tooth and constant food noise. And so, I was always trying to eat really healthy, but it was kind of this battle. And it's less of a battle now. It's still not easy, but it's a different kind of hard because now I'm trying to eat enough. But the sweet tooth and the food noise, like if I try to see if I have it right now, yeah. Thinking about, something that would have been irresistible before, like a cake or something with lots of frosting on it, like it just doesn't do it for me now. And I don't have any food noise right now. So yeah, it's really different. If you're new here, I've been on a GLP-1 for 47 weeks. I've lost about 27 pounds. I'm currently on 7.5 milligrams, and that's still doing fine for me, so no plans to change it in the near future. And hi, I'm Bobby. I'm a therapist and an artist, and I'm sharing my GLP-1 health journey here on YouTube. I'm not a medical doctor, and I'm not your therapist, so none of this is medical or mental health advice. I'm just sharing my experience here. And I always encourage you to talk to your own healthcare providers when you're making decisions for yourself. I am filming this 2 days before my daughter's due date. I'm waiting for the call, my bag is packed, but I don't have my plane ticket yet because I'm gonna get my plane ticket once she goes into labor. I'm so preoccupied, you guys. So thoughts and prayers for my daughter and for my granddaughter. I'll keep you posted about that. I'm separating this into pantry and then frozen foods and then stuff that I keep in my fridge. And pantry foods that I eat a lot, I love because they're shelf stable, right? And so if I'm just wondering what to eat and I haven't been to the store in a while or whatever, I can look in my pantry and know that there are things in there that I like. One thing I found early on in my GLP-1 journey, I found it at the Dollar Tree. And I've gone back and I've found it every time. I think like 4 times I've gone and found these salmon packets. They're just salmon packed in water the same way that they would be packed in a can like tuna. But I don't know, the packets just seem a lot easier. I treat them like tuna. If you gave me the choice between like a beautifully baked fillet of salmon and a can or a packet of salmon, I would take the beautifully baked fillet. But I'm not always willing to bake myself a fillet of salmon. Sometimes I just want to rip open a pouch and like dump it on my salad. So I love having these on hand. I mean, they also have them at the supermarket, but I just get a kick out of finding them at the dollar store. So yeah, I'll dump it on a salad or I'll just treat it like tuna if I want a sandwich and make a tuna salad sandwich, but it's like a salmon salad sandwich. If I really upped my game, I would use it to make salmon croquettes. Or is it croquets? I don't know. Like salmon patties. But I haven't done that. I'm always just like, I gotta eat, I'm like, put it on something. Second pantry item, canned beans. Beans are a superfood. They have protein, they have a lot of fiber, they're so good for you. And if you keep cans of beans in your pantry, you've always got a meal. I throw them into a pasta dish to add some extra protein and fiber. I throw them into soups. I can make them the star of a meal, like a chickpea spinach curry that I make, or I just add them in to other things, like I put them in salads. Just a half a cup in salads will give me a big boost of fiber and some extra protein. And then a snack I really like is crispy baked chickpeas. Months ago, I shared a recipe for it in an old episode, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna link to that recipe in this episode too for crispy baked chickpeas, because it's really easy and they're so tasty. And also, it's cheaper to take a can of beans and air fry them or bake them yourself than to buy a little 2-ounce bag of crispy chickpeas for $4 or something. It's much cheaper to make your own, and you can season them how you want. I always have canned beans in my pantry. I go through different phases. Like I've been on a chickpea phase lately, but I also really like black beans, pinto beans, kidney beans, all the beans. Last week's video was like the most I've self-disclosed in one video ever. And so it felt like I was really nervous putting it out there, and everyone was so nice. Thank you. My whole motivation for doing this is just that if it saves one woman the struggle of going through what I went through with menopause and like finding out all this stuff that no one told me, I'm trying to like tell people so that you'll know what can happen during menopause that is pretty normal, but no one talks about it. I really appreciate you. Thanks. The next pantry item is farro, and if you've watched my channel, you've heard me talk about farro before because it is, I think, my favorite grain. It cooks and looks kind of like rice, like brown rice, but it's got more protein and more fiber in it than brown rice, and a little bit of a nuttier flavor. I've had it twice this past week. Once, oh God, what was it? Oh, I defrosted some shrimp, and I put shrimp and peas on some farro. That was really good. And then I had leftover farro, and the next night I mixed it with some frozen spinach and some leftover chicken, and then just put like lemon butter garlic on it and ate it in a bowl all mixed up. It was really good. But like having some farro that I'd cooked one night in the fridge the next night made dinner really easy. Moving on to the freezer. I love having some staples waiting in my freezer. It's kind of like the pantry in that, you know, if you haven't been to the store in a while, or if you're just not sure what to make, you know, I'll go and I'll shop my freezer and find things. So here are the things that I always keep in my freezer and that I rely on over and over again. The first one is definitely frozen berries. Raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, those are the three I buy the most, but really any frozen fruit you could use in the ways that I'm talking about how I use frozen berries. I think I rely on berries more because they have more micronutrients and fiber than a lot of other fruit, but I mean, all fruit's delicious and good for you. I use them in my smoothies. I defrost them and put them in my chia seed pudding. I'll talk more about that later. I put them in my oatmeal. Oh, and blueberry pancakes. Having frozen blueberries on hand. I use that Kodiak high protein pancake mix and putting blueberries in it. Really good. If you're enjoying this, please do me a favor and hit like. It helps out this video, it helps out the channel, and it also helps people who are looking for foods to eat on a GLP-1 journey to get shown this video. And also hit subscribe so that you can stay up to date with all my videos. I would love to have you here following along on my journey. Thanks. The next thing I keep in my freezer all the time is shelled edamame. If you're not familiar with edamame, it's kind of like a lima bean and a pea had a baby. That's what it tastes like to me. But I love them. They're high in protein, they're high in fiber, they're tasty. I sprinkle them in salads. I eat them just as a snack by themselves. And having a bag of them in the freezer is just really easy. I can just grab a frozen handful and put them on anything, and it'll boost the fiber and the protein. Just a half a cup of edamame has 94 calories, 9 grams of protein, and 4 grams of fiber. So it's kind of a no-brainer because I really like them. And I like them shelled because, you know, it's easier to eat them, it's quicker. It's like the lazy quick way. The next thing I keep in my freezer is these Ezekiel English muffins. The multi-grain ones are the ones I like, but they have some other flavors too. So easy to keep them in the freezer and just toast them whenever I want one. I make a sandwich with them. I put some peanut butter on them. If I just want a toasted English muffin, I use them to meal prep. I've made breakfast sandwiches where I take a whole container of Ezekiel muffins and make sandwiches, wrap them in foil and put them in the fridge, and I've got breakfast for the week. I'll put the nutritional information up here. I really like how they have fiber and protein in them and that they're not an ultra processed food, and they taste good. You find them in the freezer section of the grocery store. The next thing I keep in my freezer is spinach, and there's 2 different ways I keep it. I'll buy a tub of the organic spinach in the produce department, and then I'll keep it in my freezer, and the leaves freeze up nice and crispy, and it's really easy to throw that in a smoothie, throw, you know, some in a soup. and it just defrosts immediately. For the frozen spinach that comes in a bag or like a box, I like to have that on hand if I'm planning on using more than just a handful in something. So the bag or the box, I'll put half of it or all of it, depending on how many people I'm cooking for, into a soup, into a pasta dish. The farro that I talked about, I used frozen spinach and I defrosted, I mixed it with the farro to add the veggie to the grain. And it was just really easy, and spinach is really good for you. I will give you a caveat, is that some people should watch how much spinach they eat. And I'll put up here why, because I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know that if you eat too much spinach, you risk kidney stones because of something that's in the spinach. So I wouldn't eat like an entire bag of spinach a day or anything, but I probably have a serving several times a week. And, so far I've been fine. I think that's fine. I hope that's fine. Now moving on to the fridge. And definitely the thing I reach for the most in the fridge is Greek yogurt. Specifically, Fage is my favorite brand, but you might have a different favorite brand, but this happens to be my favorite. Sometimes I buy fat-free, sometimes I buy low-fat, sometimes I buy full-fat. I don't know. I kind of mix it up. But this is something that I'll eat as a snack with fruit in it. I'll put in my smoothies. I'll put in my chia seed pudding. So breakfast and snacks is mainly when I eat Greek yogurt. And I usually have some every day, I think. Like so far, I had some this morning in my chia seed pudding. Yeah, I had some yesterday. I didn't have chia seed pudding for breakfast yesterday, but I had some yogurt with some defrosted raspberries and a little bit of honey for a snack. So it's really high in protein. It's got those good probiotics in it, and I like it. If you do eat dairy, another high protein option that you can use very similarly to Greek yogurt is cottage cheese. I used to love cottage cheese. I don't know, I've kind of gone off of it lately. I don't know why. Maybe I'll get back into it, but it's very high in protein and you can use it in a lot of the same ways. The next things that I keep in the fridge, you don't really need to keep them in the fridge, but what I've found is that they last a lot longer if you keep them in the fridge instead of your pantry. And what I'm talking about is chia seeds. I know I've already mentioned them in this episode. I've also talked about them in lots of other episodes because they really are just a staple of my diet. If you're not familiar with chia seeds, they are the same seeds that you put on a chia pet and it sprouts and it grows. But if you just put them in water or any liquid, they swell up and thicken that liquid and you can eat it like a pudding. They're high in fiber, they have healthy fats, they're really good for you, and they're very easy to add into a lot of different things. Put them in my smoothies, make chia seed pudding. Because nuts and seeds are higher in fat, fat can go rancid at room temperature. And so I've just found that although they'll last for weeks in the pantry, they'll last for months in the fridge. And it's hard to go through like an entire bag of chia seeds or any other seed. So I keep them in the fridge. The next thing might surprise you. I eat it really often, but it doesn't show up in its normal form. This next thing is cashews. They're a nut. You can eat them as a nut. You can flavor them. You can buy them already flavored. But at least once, if not twice a week, I blend cashews into a creamy sauce and use that for a sauce over a bowl of protein and veggies and grain or pasta. Ooh, it's really good. I have shared a cashew sauce recipe in a really old episode. So again, I'll link to it below. Did I link to it or did I just put the recipe in the description last time? I don't remember, but whatever I did, I'll do that now too, so you don't have to go searching through past episodes. But it's a simple sauce recipe using cashews. And when you blend cashews, they get really creamy and they add this creaminess to the sauce that tastes like cream, but it's a healthier kind of cream. All kinds of nuts are good for you. And I keep a lot of different nuts in my fridge. Walnuts and almonds are two of my other favorites. Also pistachios I've been snacking on lately. One note about nuts. They're super healthy for you, but they're also really calorie dense. So if you're watching your calories because you're trying to lose weight, and if you're on a GLP-1, you're probably trying to lose weight, I recommend weighing them. or just limit yourself to like a handful. I've found that a handful is about 1 ounce, and an ounce is a decent serving. But I have a food scale that I keep handy, and before a GLP-1, I definitely, if I didn't weigh really calorie dense things like nuts, I could eat so many calories of them without even really feeling like I ate that much. So weighing a really calorie dense food like that can help you with portion control. If I'm feeling really snacky, like I could really mac on some roasted pistachios or something, I'll weigh out 1 ounce. But a lot of times these days I'm not feeling really snacky. It's more like I'm not hungry, but I know I should eat something because I haven't eaten in 5 hours. And so I'll just like grab a handful and eat them. Next thing in my fridge, I always keep a pound of ground turkey in my fridge. I cook it and add it to pasta. I cook it and add it to soups. That's the main 2 ways I do it. I think I eat a lot of pasta and soups. Yeah, I felt like it was, I know it's really versatile, but those are the things that I use it for, and those are the things that I eat on repeat. And so that's how I get a big chunk of protein into my pasta dinner, is through ground turkey. High in protein, lower in fat, and I enjoy it. I learned so much from you guys in the comments. Thank you for all your comments. I love responding to them. I try to respond to all of them. And for this episode, definitely share what your repeat go-to foods are, because, you know, maybe we'll all get some ideas from each other. The chia seeds, I tend to eat in a sweet way, like puddings and smoothies. There's another seed that I use just as much, but I use it in a savory way, and that is pumpkin seeds. Oh, I love pumpkin seeds. I like to sprinkle them on soups, sprinkle them on salads, just eat them as a snack. You can buy them already toasted, or you can toast them yourself. You can add spices to them if you want. They're really healthy for you. And when you want like a crunchy, salty snack, pumpkin seeds are great. These are the foods that I use, you know, over and over again. If you want to see how I incorporate a lot of them into meals, watch this video next. See you next week. Bye.